Oh man, now you remember on Friday I warned that ALGORAND and COTI could be breaking to the downside, and they've both done that on the shorter time frames here. So we're going to take a quick look into that. But first, let's take a look at Bitcoin, because we know this is correlated. We know the weaknesses in altcoins are coming as a result of the direct strength of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is still going from strength to strength. Obviously, for the Bitcoin portion of our portfolios, that is fantastic news. But for those who are being impatient with altcoins, obviously this can be a bit challenging, but it's still part of the bull and bear run cycles, alt seasons versus Bitcoin seasons, and we need to appreciate that. So on the daily chart, we can see that the cup and handle pattern formed for Bitcoin. We broke out of the cup and handle. We're in this expanding wedge. And you can see what's happened here. If I head over to the hourly, you'll see this a bit more clearly of what played out over this weekend. So what you'll be able to see is we're in this wedge, and you can see we've kind of been fluctuating in this wedge. We had a target to the upside just for this wedge of 65,000. You remember from the broader cup and handle pattern, the target is $75,000 for Bitcoin. But we got a breakout, right? We had a breakout. We thought we'd come back and test. Ended up being a bit of a fake out, and then we had this on Sunday. Okay, so this was a bit of some are calling it manipulation and short sellers leverage, but I think this is more to do with what we saw in El Salvador. Okay, so for those who aren't familiar, there's a bunch of protests going on against the president of El Salvador, and we know he's the president who introduced Bitcoin, and one of the things some of the citizens are proposed to not be happy about is Bitcoin. So we'll find out more about that over the next few days, but maybe that's what led to a small little panic. I mean, on the hourly chart, 2 hours of panic, immediately bought the dip in the next couple of hours. So let's just call that a wobble, and we're pretty much back to where we are. Having said that, we've lost a bit of our momentum. Okay, so you can see RSI was high. It's cooled off here, plummeted here when we had the dip, and then bought back here, and now we've got a healthy RSI, but we need some volume to really push us on Bitcoin. Now, looking at the Bitcoin dominance, and this is what's going to affect our COTI and ALGORAND. This is really important. Now, if I look at the Bitcoin dominance, let's take a look on the daily chart, and anybody who's been following me, I called this out many weeks ago that the dominance was forming a W pattern. Okay, so we saw this, and you can see now this leg has now formed, right? We got the bounce exactly where we said we'd get it at 39.65, and the upward channel on the dominance is forming a W pattern, which is a bullish setup for Bitcoin, right? If this forms a W pattern, comes test here, the technical analysis would suggest a break to the upside with strong volume. Having said that, the RSI on the dominance is quite overheated, right? Which is a signal that we could get a bit of a calling off. So we'll have to wait to see if this completes the W pattern. That's going to mean another strong rally for Bitcoin gaining strength versus altcoins. If this cools off, then maybe we can see altcoins gaining some strength against Bitcoin. Right, so let's take a look at COTI. So again, cup and handle pattern formed into the handle, break out of the handle, got rejected by 66 cents, and we come down into our downward channel. That's where we're at, right? And we've been here for a long time, and you can see we're hovering around in this buy zone for a very long time. Now, if I switch over to the hourly candles, what you will then see is the following. Just now, we've broken out of this wedge, and we thought we were going to get a bit of support here, okay, at this level here on the 49 level, which has been acting as very good support for us. Now, naturally, when Bitcoin had its wobble, which I've just shown you, and that's why I showed you that before coming onto this chart, you can see that gave you the impetus to push down, and we went and tested the next target, which would be the bottom of your wedge, okay? So at 46, and then the dip was bought, and we've kind of got a recovery, okay? Now you want to see us creating higher lows in order for us to get back into this box, okay? If not, the lower case scenario here is for us to, like I've always said, test 43 cents or even test the top of this broader handle from the daily frame cup and handle pattern, okay? If I zoom out to show you that. So the broader target, so the first one is if we carry on breaking to the downside and we don't get any support, 43 cents there, and then testing the top of this cup and handle pattern. Okay, so those are the kind of levels we want to be watching for. And again, like I said to you, on the daily time frame, we are still bullish. Look at the EMA ribbon. We've just got into the third EMA ribbon on this panic associated even with Bitcoin dipping as well. Okay, so these are the kind of dips where we've got to be trained as investors and even short-term traders. If you're trading and you're an experienced trader, you want to be conditioned to understanding that if the whole market's dipping, it means there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the project you're investing in, right? In this case, when Bitcoin has dropped substantially because of some fear, uncertainty, doubt, whatever happened, and all the wider altcoins fall, you know that there's something a bit more systemic, not necessarily related to your project. So COTI, I'm still not worried about it. Like I said, the only time you get worried is if 43, you're a bit worried, and then obviously coming down to the wedge is where you'd be buying your dip in here, and then obviously if it starts falling below these kind of support levels, then you can start flipping bearish. But at this point, it's just a test of the EMA ribbon, and it's nothing substantial on the longer term time frame. Of course, if you're trading this on the daily time frame, which is what I made you aware of on the hourly time frame, which is what I made you aware of on Friday, you can see we broke down just as I predicted here. So that's exactly as predicted. So that broke down exactly as we predicted right there, okay? So now you want to see a bit of support come in. You saw a bit of support here where the dip got bought when you had the Bitcoin dump. So that was good, but you're kind of getting more candles here. And again, if I show you Bitcoin on the same hourly chart, that's because Bitcoin's doing the same thing, right? Bitcoin's coming back into our wedge, which is a bit of a bearish scenario, but while still in an uptrend. Right, so that's your COTI. Let's take a look at ALGORAND. And obviously you're going to see the exact same pattern, okay? So you had this yesterday, the Bitcoin dump, and it just happened to happen at a terrible time when ALGORAND was waiting to get support. I mean, this is just comes down to timing, right? So if this happens when ALGORAND's up here at the top of the wedge, it's fine. You kind of still stay in your wedge. But now because it happened right here where it just needed some support off the bottom of the wedge, that's when Bitcoin dumped. That meant you broke down to the downside. Now, the good thing here is you've only met your first price target here, because remember, your first price target would be there, but your longer term is at the bottom of the wedge, right, which is past that support of 164. So anywhere between 164 and 162 is where the worst side of this breakdown could occur. So you've got to be careful of that if you're trading this on a short term frame. You can see now it's struggling to, I mean, it's gone back up, it's retested the wedge, and it's come back down. So when you see that, that's a bit of a bearish pattern, right? A bullish pattern, a fake out, would get you straight back in and trading here. But what we're seeing is we retest and we're heading back down. So that means you normally head down with more strength, as you can see. So we need to watch that over the next couple of hours. So the key thing for ALGORAND is it needs to quickly get back into this wedge in order to head higher. So that's what's happening there. You can also see that, so you got to remember that this one here, this is your dump in Bitcoin, okay? So you can see that, but this one here, the second one, is your what's happening in Bitcoin now, which is your second dump, which is happening right here. Okay, so we need to be wary of that, because if Bitcoin moves, it's going to mess up all your altcoins. That's just how it works right now. Look at everything on the right hand side here. It's all red. Okay, and that is in part due to what's happening with Bitcoin. Now, longer time frame, we still see some difficult times for alts ahead. Like I said, this is the dominance, and the dominance is very comfortable in this upward channel right now. I mean, you can just see how long it's been in this channel for. Exactly as I mentioned, we are forming this W pattern, and remember, the W pattern can break to the upside with strong volume. Okay, so if I just show you that, you're creating this W pattern. Okay, and normally if you have a W pattern, you expect a breakout to the upside towards that 59 mark on the Bitcoin dominance. So that's definitely one we want to keep an eye out on as well. Now, the movers we've had are MATIC, which we can see here. And if you see the chart for MATIC, again, if you're not watching my video, go check out my altcoin portfolio, because MATIC is a key stable in my altcoin portfolio, and it's been there for a long time. I mean, you can even see my old drawings here. This is one of my buy zones. I was buying in this box. I was comfortable buying at these levels. When it dipped down here, we were picking this up. We were buying this dip here at 67 cents on MATIC. You've entered a nice uptrend on MATIC. I mean, this is your daily chart. You can see here, we were bullish, flipped bearish on the EMA ribbon, and then kind of had a battle. But it's just in the last few sets of 4 hourly candles, we really ripped through this EMA ribbon here. Okay, so you can see that MATIC has really had a run here, and MATIC needs to build from strength to strength now. So it's come back down, retested the ribbon, and now looking to push on. And if we look at where we can be heading to on MATIC, it's got to break through first the 163 mark, which is a little bit of a resistance, and then it's got to head to 192 on MATIC. Okay, so we're sitting at 153. It's got to get through 163 first, and then we can head to 192 on MATIC. So MATIC is looking pretty strong as we speak. So there you have it, guys. There's an update on what is going on with COTI and ALGORAND, two of our favorites on this channel. We know naturally that as Bitcoin is going from strength to strength and having its moment, all coins are it's the nature of it. They're going to be sideways. And for me, I've made my view clear on this channel. I'm not somebody that will time the market. I know there's a lot of people that will want to time the market, rotate all their alts into Bitcoin, be greedy, get that pump there, and then try to rotate across back into alts when it's alt season. If you're capable of doing that, and that's something you've done in the past, by all means, go for it. It's not something I feel comfortable timing, so I'm not going to be trying to time that at all. Like I've always said, I'm going to try to get as much fiat currency into Bitcoin as possible and as much fiat currency as possible into my favorite altcoins. Because the position I don't want to be in is I sell all my altcoins now, I go into Bitcoin, Bitcoin runs to 70, 74, and people start selling out, right? Because they want to rotate back into altcoins because the altcoins start moving, and it's just an absolute mess. But at that point, you're trying to buy some Ethereum, but Ethereum will be sitting at $4,500. You try to buy some Algorand, Algorand will be $3. You try to buy some COTI, COTI will be sat at, $1.5, $2. It's just, you just be chasing all your favorite projects. So you're better off getting into your projects. Right now, they're all sideways channeling, so you've got plenty of time to go create income, get fiat currency, buy your favorite altcoins, not financial advice, and build out your portfolio, right? These are assets. So the number of COTI coins, the number of Algorand coins, the number of Ethereum and Solana you hold is an asset. Stop trying to trade between the two, and that's a quick way of getting burnt if you're not experienced. If you're experienced, by all means, you run your Bitcoin cycle to the top, you sell, you rotate into altcoins, but even the most experienced crypto traders will tell you that is very difficult to do. Timing these markets is very difficult to do. And let's say you're perfect at it. A macroeconomic event can throw you off completely, right? A recessionary event, a supply chain issue, inflationary issues, these kind of things can mess up all your technical analysis, all your trading, all your on-chain analysis, and your bull market, bear market analysis can be thrown off. So you've got to be smart. You've got to have, keep money in your high conviction plays, which if they retraced 50, 60%, you're comfortable because you know what those projects are made of, you know the fundamentals, you know the use cases and adoption, and therefore you don't mind. Similar to Bitcoin, right? If you're buying Bitcoin at 60,000, you got to buy knowing that if that fell to 28, you're good because it's going to come back to 60 like it just has. You need to have that same type of conviction for your favorite altcoins. Otherwise, you're just playing around, right? So that's really important. So overall, no issues still with COTI and Algorand. From the day frame, the daily chart, which we share with, is still a great bullish setup on both those coins. Nothing to be worried about to the downside just yet. But on the hourly, obviously, we've both of those have broken down to the downside from the patterns they were creating as a result of Bitcoin's little dump over the weekend. But good news, Bitcoin's recovered that nice and quickly. We expect the alts to do the same. And again, when the wider market dumps, it's a great opportunity to buy the dip on these coins because you know that fundamentally nothing changed with Algorand. Fundamentally overnight, nothing changed with Bitcoin even, or Algorand or any other coin. And therefore, if the whole market is overreacting and leverage is coming out of the system and whales are doing a bit of manipulation, or there's an issue in El Salvador, it's just an opportunity for you to buy the dip on your favorites a little bit more. So there you have it, guys. There's an update. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, as always, then please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.